This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, Labor leader Jacinda Ardern visited a flood-affected home in South Dunedin today and addressed questions on how Labor would assist with future flood events. High winds starting early this morning caused havoc in Alexandra, with wind gusts reaching 115 kilometres per hour. And next Tuesday marks the 124th anniversary of the Electoral Act becoming law, giving all New Zealand women the right to vote. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. Labor leader Jacinda Ardern appeared at a flood-affected home in St Kilda today as part of a visit to Dunedin. Ardern took the opportunity to address questions regarding how Labor would assist South Dunedin in future flood events.
Where did you go that first night?
Launcey McCullum, Tracy Douglas and their children Brooklyn and Briley were all affected by the 2015 South Dunedin floods. Labor leader Jacinda Ardern visited them in their home at St Kilda today.
It wasn't until later on, within the 6 to 8 months, we lost our first floorboard. To rip it up and everything like that, like working family and stuff, rip the carpet up and have a double check and try and fix it ourselves. It's not an option.
The family was forced out of their home and lost possessions in the floods.
The stuff was thrown out onto the street and I get a phone call from my neighbours saying, we've been told these boys out here taking away the duchesses and all that, and said that you can have them.
Ardern says the national government should have released findings on areas that are at risk from coastal flooding and sea level rises.
This is not an issue that local government can deal with alone. We know that the government has done work on it. There's an almost 300-page report on this very issue. They know where the pressure points are.
She says the Dunedin City Council was desperate to work with Labor on infrastructure issues.
That is a good starting point, but they also need us at a national level to start making an effort to reduce the effects of climate change by taking our role and responsibilities seriously.
Labor has previously stated it will start construction on a new Dunedin hospital in its first term, $1.4 billion funded out of the government's normal capital allowance. In response to what some have called a lack of clarity around the party's tax plans, an announcement yesterday from finance spokesman Grant Robertson stated Labor would delay any implementation of changes to its tax working group until after the 2020 election. The National Party has dismissed the announcement as proof of Labor's uncertainty around their own tax policy. Roselle LeBone, The South Today.
Yesterday's warm weather in the Central Lakes area is now taking a turn for the worse. Cold fronts are to deliver strong gale force winds and heavy rain, with a big drop in temperature. Mina Amso reports.
Queenstown's warm northwesterly was a reminder spring weather has arrived, but today it will be back to winter. Met Service meteorologist Georgina Griffin says rain and strong gales are expected.
And those strong to gale northerlies coming through at times in the Southern Lakes region as a very active front comes on and then eventually moves through.
It's going to be a quieter, cooler day on Saturday.
Mostly dry around the Southern Lakes Queenstown area.
The prolonged southerly will come through slowly on Sunday and linger until Monday, bringing more wet weather and a 5-degree drop in temperature.
And it's a wet one, so it'll be rain at lower levels and possibly snow at very high elevation, not for Queenstown.
Southern ski fields should expect a top-up of snow. I'm Mina Amso for The South Today.
And further to that story, a slip has closed the Crown Range Road between Wanaka and Queenstown this morning. Queenstown Lakes District Council has yet to advise when the road will reopen. Additionally, the Department of Conservation is warning trampers in the Young Valley near Makarua not to camp on the valley floor, as it is below the level of a natural dam. High winds have also caused havoc in Alexandra today. Met Service says wind gusts began early this morning, with the strongest reaching 115 kilometres per hour. Fire and Emergency New Zealand said they received multiple call-outs for roofs lifting off buildings and windows blown in. Dunstan Golf Course said that about 25 large pines have been toppled by winds. Next Tuesday marks the 124th anniversary of the Electoral Act becoming law, giving all New Zealand women the right to vote. That momentous occasion was marked in Invercargill this morning with a Suffrage Day breakfast for women of all ages. Sharon Rees has more.
Kate Sheppard's portrait takes centre stage before a room filled with some of her greatest admirers. Members from Southland's National Council of Women invited these women to celebrate Sheppard's achievements of introducing universal suffrage to the country 124 years ago.
Today is the 2017 National Council for Women Suffrage Day breakfast, and we're just having an absolutely great time with about 70 ladies.
White camellias were on display and women were encouraged to wear purple, both symbolising the suffrage movement. McCracken says the variety of people at the event showed how far the country has come since 1893.
We're proud to be here today. In fact, we've got 4 female candidates for the general election for the Invercargill electorate. Says something about girls can do anything.
Primary and high school girls were given a lesson in the history of New Zealand women.
It's such a good way to be educated about it, to be talked to, like have a specialised breakfast for it, to be talked to about it. It's all centred around this. So yeah, we're finding out the best of the information from the best, I guess.
Guest speaker Dr. Diana McLean told an extraordinary story of her correspondence with Otto Frank, the father of Holocaust victim Anne Frank. She discussed how Anne Frank's diary motivated her to overcome the barriers in beginning a medical profession and how she went on to achieve first-class honours in a Bachelor of Surgery.
The subject of my talk is Otto Frank's Lost Letters, One Woman's Journey with a Holocaust Survivor. It is rather a clumsy title, but it is the essence of what I am going to speak on. But it is not just an historical account. For me, it is a very personal story.
Afterwards, the audience were given a chance to talk to McLean about her life and story. I'm Sharon Rees for The South Today.
Still to come on The South Today, 3 Central Otago lakes have confirmed cases of lake snow or lake snot.
For all your news from the southern regions as it happens, go to our Facebook page. The South Today, connecting you with your community thanks to New Zealand On Air.
The Royal New Zealand Ballet presents a brand new production of Romeo and Juliet by Francesco Ventriglia. Book now at rnzb.org.nz.
If you're staring at empty walls, stare no longer. The Dunedin Art Show has arrived. Visit Dunedin's largest ever art show and take part in Otago's art sales event of the year. View and buy original artworks from established and emergent New Zealand artists. Thousands of artworks priced from $50. Opening night gala Thursday the 21st of September, with show days from Friday the 22nd to Sunday the 24th from 10 a.m. at the Edgar Centre, Andersons Bay. Visit the DunedinArtShow.co.nz for tickets and more info.
We're at 25 Moray Place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
Hi, Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Just think, 80 years ago, this year, my grandfather set up Alex Campbell Menswear right on Cargill's Corner in South Dunedin. We've had some great years bringing Otago and Southland the very best of menswear for both business and everyday needs.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 15 years. New doors, replacement doors, repairs and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team at 553 Kaikoura Valley Road. Visit www.garrador.co.nz or call us on 488 5676.
Feel the soothing effects of sunny chins, back manipulation and crystal therapy. 1 hour half price special for the month of September. Normally $110, now $55. Book your session today.
The University of Otago, New Zealand's only true collegiate university. For first-year students, the history, the expectations of excellence are
unfamiliar.
G'day, I'm next door.
Hi, next door. I'm Samantha Pascoe.
No, you're not. I'm Josh, Clyde, Science. And you are?
Sam, Hastings, Law and Arts.
Tane, Auckland, Commerce. Osaka, Greece, Classics. History.
Louis Anderson, Charlie Hiku, do you promise to love each other as lifetime partners in marriage, with fleas or without, sharing walks together and never fighting over scraps of food or bones?
Lake Snow or Lake Snot has now been found in 3 central Otago lakes. Lakes Wakatipu, Wanaka and Hawea have been contaminated by the algae which originated from overseas. How to stop it spreading further is now on the agenda of various organisations and freshwater experts. Mina Amso found out more.
University of Otago geology expert Dr. Mark Schellenberg with his team is sampling sediments at Lake Johnson near Queenstown. Learning more about the slimy organism known as Lake Snow or Lake Snot is one of the things on his agenda.
It's not something that you can, that you can really kill every cell, every last cell. So it's not something that we'll be able to eradicate. We're going to have to learn to live with it.
But Schellenberg says it's important to know where it came from and why it produces so much slime.
Are there any particular drivers that cause it to produce a lot of slime that we might be able to manage? Is it related to nutrient loading? Is it related to climate change? Is it related to other components of the lake food web that could potentially be part of how we manage it?
So, where did the Lake Snow come from?
Wouldn't really have guessed where it came from. We knew that there are the same species in Europe and in North America, but no, specifically where it had come from, no, I didn't have any idea why that was. And so the work that my colleague Phil Novus from Landcare has done has really shown that it's an identical population to the population from Lake Youngs in Seattle.
He says Lake Snow was first reported in the early 2000s by Lake Wanaka fishermen. Since then, it has been found in Lake Wakatipu and Hawea, and it is suspected to be found in other lakes as well. The invasive organism clogs water filters and fouls boat motors. Costs residents and Queenstown Lakes District Council hundreds of thousands of dollars each year. And there's also a biosecurity risk to consider, warns Dr. Schellenberg.
It doesn't belong in our lakes and it shouldn't be spread from lake to lake.
Lake Johnson is one lake still clear of the organism, but Dr. Schellenberg says more work needs to be done to halt the spread. Mina Amso, The South Today.
Last night, the curtain closed on a career of 2 Dunedin educators who shared their passion for encouraging young minds. Ivan and Anne Barnes developed the newspapers and education idea, which has morphed into the ODT extra series of quizzes. The South Today was there.
They read the news today. Oh boy. Anne and Ivan Burns are retiring from running the ODT extra quizzes, which have been a regular feature in schools since the pair developed the idea. They say it was time to step down, but are going to miss it.
Well, we just completed our last quiz in Otago, so it's the end of an era as far as we're concerned, but the extra is going to carry on, and that's the positive news. There'll be a successor, and we'll give them all the framework, how it works, and hopefully they can improve it.
The extra quizzes run in conjunction with the ODT lift out, which is aimed at the nation's school pupils.
Well, we're both school teachers, yeah, and I thought about how we can enhance kids' curiosity in the news and see them published. So, I mean, a lot of schools have only got their own outlets, and this is going out to Auckland, Remuera Intermediates, 800 kids read extra, or it could go to Wellington or all over the country. So it's a great opportunity to have your work published to your peer group right around the country, and I think it's really good.
The pair say the feedback from kids who see their work and names in print is a huge reward. Anne and Ivan say there have been many highlights over the years.
Probably just seeing satisfaction in the kids' faces. Yeah. Every year we come along to the quizzes and we meet these kids, and some of them we've met from year 5 and 6, 7, 8 right through, because they're so good at this and they get hooked into it.
And we often meet them years later and say, oh right, I remember I was in your quizzes. So,
I mean, the scary thing is I've actually met teachers. There's one classic in Timaru quiz next week. I actually taught her before I retired out of teaching, and she's gone through the quizzes, and here she is now bringing her kids to the quiz, and that's lovely, yeah.
And another one that we taught, whose son has won the quiz a couple of times.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Extra, they've read all about it and are now off to put their feet up. They might even read the paper. Daryl Baser, The South Today.
After the break on The South Today, the Southern District Health Board is spending about $2.8 million per year sending patients to a substandard mental hospital in Christchurch. And the annual celebration of Pacifica's song and dance, better known as Polyfest, finished today.
From rare to the recent, visit the legendary Hard to Find for your quality second-hand books. With the largest stock in New Zealand and a friendly book-loving atmosphere. For good prices, buying or selling, come visit 20 Dowling Street.
Active Furnishers Limited, home of quality service with superior product, and an in-house design team who are always happy to advise and create an imaginative solution for you. Active Furnishers Limited, part of Dunedin's design history.
Feel the soothing effects of sunny chins, back manipulation and crystal therapy. 1 hour half price special for the month of September. Normally $110, now $55. Book your session today.
Bring some more joy into your world by adopting one of our adult animals at SPCA Otago. Call now on 473 8252. Please adopt a pet now, they will love you forever.
The Gate Hospitality and Tourist Centre is a standout attraction of Cromwell and Central Otago for travellers and locals alike, featuring the Harvest Hotel, which is Central Otago's gateway accommodation, featuring standard and premium rooms, which open onto breathtaking mountain, vineyard and rural views. The Harvest Hotel also has a relaxing, sun-trapped courtyard and standalone conference and wedding centre. The Hunting Lodge-themed Five Stags Bar and Restaurant provides an honest, welcoming, family-friendly place to grab a great feed and a relaxing beverage. Forage Information Centre and Cafe is light and spacious and serves fabulous food and bedazzling beverages and offers information and booking services. In every season, for every reason, the Gate Hospitality and Tourist Centre has something for everyone.
For 3 generations, the Kilpatrick family have ensured Jimmy's pies are still world famous in the South Island. Made to an old family recipe, Jimmy's pies have been one of New Zealand's traditional takeaway foods, prepared daily on the premises alongside a range of savouries, sausage rolls and cakes. Jimmy's pies are distributed throughout the lower South Island. Jimmy's pies are sure to satisfy your travelling munchies.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274.
Hi, Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Just think, 80 years ago, this year, my grandfather set up Alex Campbell Menswear right on Cargill's Corner in South Dunedin. We've had some great years bringing Otago and Southland the very best of menswear for both business and everyday needs.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Fall in love this winter with the Royal New Zealand Ballet's Romeo and Juliet, a brand new ballet by Francesco Ventriglia. Be transported to the world of Shakespeare's great romance with ravishing designs by Oscar winner James Aitchison and Prokofiev's classic score. Book now at rnzb.org.nz.
Thanks for staying with us. The Southern District Health Board spends about $2.8 million per year sending patients to a mental health hospital in Christchurch deemed substandard by the Canterbury District Health Board. Health Minister Jonathan Coleman announced last week the rundown Princess Margaret Hospital will be rebuilt within 3 years, costing up to $57 million. Southern District Health Board Chief Executive Chris Fleming says the average length of stay at the hospital is 6 weeks. The annual charge for the Southern District Health Board is the same no matter how many beds it uses. The annual celebration of Pacifica song and dance, better known as Polyfest, finished today. Last night saw many of the region's high schools putting on their performances. The South Today were amongst the action.
Kavanagh College was one of the many high schools showing off their choreography to an appreciative crowd at Polyfest last night. Angelina Chiore has been involved with the organisation for 23 of Otago Polyfest's 24 years. She said the high school performances have been all year in the planning.
Some of the high schools are constantly in different campaigns for performing arts. So yeah, the competing groups, they have been going, well, they don't really stop. They just move from competitive to non-competitive. But each festival is really important. So I think as soon as you finish one campaign, you're thinking about what you're going to do next year. And you might not always start practicing it, but you're fine-tuning and you're creating an environment of your kids that your kids can be excited about.
Queens of the Pacific are a regular act at Polyfest's evening slot. Last night, Queens also honoured those who had passed away over the last year, with a dozen girls joining in, holding framed photos of family members who have passed away.
I think every year different groups take time to honour those people that have passed on. Certainly last year was a big year for Polyfest, but that remains. We've lost a number of people in our communities, and a number of groups will honour them, and they'll write material accordingly and they'll present that for the community to share. So we're always about looking at the past, and we're always about looking to the future for those people.
Chiore said that people from the Pacific place strong emphasis on acknowledging their ancestors.
I think it's something specific for Indigenous peoples, I think, because we have that innate belief that it's the people that have trudged the pathways before us that have made it easier for us to walk. So I think it is directly connected to Indigenous peoples, Māori, Pacific, Indigenous all around the world. And so yeah, it is unique.
Polyfest will be back again September next year, celebrating their 25th anniversary. Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Labour leader Jacinda Ardern appeared at a flood-affected home in St Kilda today as part of a visit to Dunedin. High winds caused havoc in Alexandria with gusts reaching up to 115 kilometres per hour. And a group of Invercargill women gathered to remember Suffrage Day, 124 years since women received the right to vote. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome back, Dave Cannon.
Hello, Melissa. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Well, of course, Saturday it's a bumper edition, so we've got heaps and heaps of news. Obviously, the big story of the day in town was Jacinda's visit to Dunedin. We had more Jacinda mania, if I can use such a terrible term. Anyway, she opened schools and went to schools and went to houses and went to see the university And so we got lots of pictures and lots of stories about that. She also had a more serious sit down with our political editor, Dean McKenzie, and had a yarn to her about how the campaign's gone so far, the good and the bad, and what's to come still. So, and of course, we're also looking at Bill English coming back to town next week, I think. So,
yeah, we seem to have a barrage of politicians visiting us at the moment.
Yes, I wonder why that is.
Oh, maybe it's got something to do with that election happening.
Possibly. And of course, the other big news, of course, was that, as you had on your news, the wind. Poor old Clyde copped it. It seemed to be the one that really copped it. They had lots of trees down, and the golf course was pretty badly affected. If you're a golfer, that's bad news if you're a golfer. 28 trees blown over on the Clyde golf course, which I understand.
And they do
should make it a bit easier when I go back and play next time.
Do you think you'll like put an entry in now?
I'm kind of attracted to trees when I'm playing golf, which is not a good thing, believe you me. So we've got quite a lot of coverage of that, and not related to the wind, but also quite significant. There's been some more weather, which has closed the Crown Range overnight between Wanaka and Queenstown. So that'll be open hopefully tomorrow sometime. But that was caused by a slip. So
yeah, which is not good for the end of the ski season.
No, it's going to make life a bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Margot Taylor's done a bit of a what we call a big read. She's had a yarn to a Dunedin adventurer, David Wood, who's been climbing previously unclimbed peaks around the world, and so it's quite an interesting story tomorrow. And David Lockray, we've given him some bus money, and he's off to ride on the last direct Dunedin Ravensbourne bus service as we speak. This is the one that goes up the hill, the steep hill, and down again, and I understand that from next week it won't go up the hill anymore, so the people have to walk up this rather steep hill to get to and from the bus.
Well, the benefits are it's good for fitness.
Well, of course, not if you're an old person who has struggles on the hill. So, and not that David is. But anyway, he's going to give us a little bit of a colour story on the last ride on the Ravensbourne bus. So.
That's a bit sad for Ravensbourne.
It is, yeah. Well, there's been quite a few changes to the bus service, and they haven't always been that popular. So anyway, we'll see what Dave comes back with.
Wonderful.
And then, of course, being Saturday, we have the Weekend Mix, which is the magazine, and the emphasis there is on the election again.
Oh, so wonderful.
Quite a lot of collection stories in there as well.
So we'll be well informed for when we need to vote.
There's no reason not to vote.
Okay, lovely. Thank you for that, David. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's weather.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Silberhorn Collagen Plus.
Starting with today's southern view taken of a seagull cleaning itself by the church. Looking at the situation, another day of strong westerly airflow tomorrow with rain developing later on as a front approaches. But colder southwesterly airflow will see showers clearing on Sunday and Monday. To the southern outlook, Balclutha, Catlins, Gore and Lumsden, strong northwesterlies, late rain, and it's 12 degrees for all of you. To the central outlook, Alexandra, moderate westerly, some cloud and 14 degrees. Queenstown, moderate westerly, some cloud and 12. Te Anau, strong northwesterlies, rain and 11. And Wanaka, moderate westerlies, some cloud and 13 degrees. To the northern outlook, Oamaru and Timaru have light northeasterly, some cloud and 14 degrees. Amarama and Twizel, slightly cooler, moderate westerly, some cloud and 13 degrees. Here in Dunedin tonight, fine with an overnight low of 5 degrees. Tomorrow it's fine with sunny periods, some cloud, light to moderate winds tending southwesterly, and light showers around the middle of the day, 14 and 5. And a few showers on Sunday morning with cloudy skies, but clearing later on, light southerly winds, colder temperatures 9 and 6. And in Invercargill tonight, fine with an overnight low of 7. Tomorrow sunny periods at first, but cloud increasing and rain developing later on in the day with northwesterly winds becoming strong, 11 and 5. And cloudy and showers and strong cold southwesterlies on Sunday, 9 and 4. And that's our news for this Friday. For the latest news from the southern region, you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook and at channel39.co.nz. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.